All right, today I'm going to discuss a little bit about, after we've had children, what often happens to the abdominal muscles is that they separate. You know, it happened to me and it's probably happened to you if you've had children, that our stomach muscles get a gap where we can fit our fingers or our fists or something between that. It is possible for this to all come back together, but it does take a little bit of time and it does take correct abdominal training. What we don't want to do as a woman when we've got abdominal separation is doing regular crunches or sit-ups. We don't want to work the rectus muscles on top. We actually need to work the muscles right underneath, like the corset or the belt, to start to pull them all back together. Once we start to close that gap, we can then start to work the top layers of the muscles. So I would suggest avoiding doing basic crunches, sit-ups, anything where you're just working through that rectus, and we focus on your obliques and your transverse. So I'm going to demonstrate just 2 exercises today which are really beneficial for your transverse muscles. So any form of Pilates work is where we focus on the transverse. And for those of you who aren't aware, the transverse muscle is a band of muscle which acts like a corset. It wraps around the entire front and back of your body and holds everything in nice and tight, nice and flat. So we're going to lie down on the floor and we're going to start with a very simple exercise. Well, it sounds very simple, but for some people it can be quite a challenge. So you want to keep your pelvis in a neutral position. Naturally, we've all got a curve in our spine. Everybody's is different. But what we want to do is try and eliminate that by drawing down and connecting to those abdominal muscles. So take a breath in. As you exhale, you're just going to create a dish. Draw the navel to the spine and try and imprint the vertebrae onto the mat, creating a dish in your stomach. That in itself you should feel through those abdominal muscles. That, to begin with, might be an exercise in itself for a few people. And doing that several times of the day, when you're sitting, when you're lying, actually scooping and creating that dish will create that pathway and start to channel and switch those muscles back on, because they often get switched off after giving birth. Then when we work our abdominals, we're going to work on those transverse muscles. So we're going to take an inhale. As we exhale, we're going to imprint the vertebrae, lift a leg. But you lift the leg by drawing from the pubic bone to the navel. Bring one leg up, take an inhale. As you exhale, further imprint, second leg comes up. Then you take an inhale, and as you inhale, you drop your foot away. It taps the floor. Once it taps the floor, no weight goes on it. Exhale, imprint and pull up. So it's really, really important that you don't use the muscles of the legs and just flap the legs around, but you're actually engaging here in the stomach. So you're going to drop the leg away, imprint the vertebrae into the floor, exhale, pull that leg up. So that looks very simple exercise, is very intense and very focused on those transverse muscles, which are the prime muscle that we want to work when we're trying to get those abdominals coming back together after we've had some abdominal separation. And as weeks progress, I can show you more and more different little exercises to start to get that stomach back to how it should be after we've had our babies.